All right, gang, we're live. Oh my, we had all of these technical difficulties. I'm flustered. I'm absolutely flustered. But what did Rush used to say? I'm your highly trained professional host here. So come on in, one and all. It is our live stream Friday. I am Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button if you have not already done so. We're live again on both Rumble and YouTube. So a huge welcome to our new Rumble audience. God bless each and every single one of you guys. Super chats are up. Send me your questions. I'll answer them in due course. The Biden administration, the let's go lick the world Biden administration, and the legacy media, the licking legacy media, are panicked, gang. They're absolutely panicked. They are increasingly recognizing that their days are numbered. And they're in full survival mode right now. In many respects, what's happening in our nation, a way of kind of thinking about what's happening, is if you asked anybody else out there in the world, what do you think of the United States, right? You often got a binary answer. You got, well, we're very admiring of the United States. We're certainly very appreciative of the United States here. But we don't like how the United States is such a bully. And what we have done, I know many of you know, what we've done, at least since the end of the Cold War, what we've done is we've basically told the rest of the world, you're going to adopt our way of life or we're going to crush you. I mean, just ask Venezuela or Cuba, certainly Cuba going back to the 60s, North Korea, Iran. You adopt our way of life, we're going to turn you into a villain, and rightly or wrongly, and we are going to crush you. So we have been pushing, for lack of a better term, a despotic democracy model around the world. We don't care if you're an actual democracy. You just have to play by our rules. And if you don't, we crush you. And what we have to understand is those despotic tactics that we've been using on other populations outside the United States are now coming home to roost. We're now using it on our population. That's basically what's happening. And the regime has been forced to do that because they're in survival mode. They're literally trying to hold on to power and extend their limited days as far as they can. But I assure you, many of our ruling elite recognize that we are in the last days of their dying globalist empire. And I'm going to give you today a frame to help you understand precisely how that's all working itself out. It's a very helpful frame, and it's also a very hopeful frame. We're going to cover the leaks that have been happening, the embarrassing leaks regarding Ukraine. We're going to see how the legacy licking media is doing everything they can to try to cover it up. And we're going to find out why it's all too little, too late. It's over. The corruption, the lies have been exposed. The fall is inevitable. All that and more on this live stream Friday. Remember, super chats are up. Ask me your questions. I will get to them in due course. And before we get started today, gang, I do want to address something. I'm excited. All right. I got to address something that you guys have been asking me for a long time now. You've been asking me for weeks because I've been teeing it up, of course. You've been asking me for weeks when and where we'll be able to access my brand new research guidebook on how to escape the Great Reset, right? So I've received literally thousands of emails and comments from patriots like you who are desperate to build a life of faith, family, and freedom in the face of Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum's wishes. Well, today is a very special day. My team and I have worked hard to compile this book, and the digital version is finally complete. Now, I told you I was going to unveil it next week, but I can't wait. I'm too impulsive. I cannot wait to share it with you. So I convinced my team to have it available for you today. And here's the best part, gang. Here it is, available to you in digital format as of today, absolutely free. We're giving it away completely free. My favorite F word. We're licking the world for for Joe Biden and the World Economic Forum by giving this book away absolutely free. So you're going to learn the 5 steps to escape the Great Reset, keeping your family insanity intact with my new guidebook, available for a limited time, totally free, just by clicking on the link in the description below. It's a unique opportunity. I know you're going to benefit incredibly from this research. Go ahead, click on that description. In my research, I explore the methods patriots are using all over the world to escape the Great Reset. My insights into the real failure behind the globalist agenda are in there. I'm going to show you how to build a life that isn't reliant on woke corporations or institutions. And I've even included the hidden truth of daily news on the sites I actually read myself. This is not going to be available for free for very long, but I know how much you wanted to read this. I'm just so excited about it. So it's just a click away, gang. Download it absolutely free right now. In fact, how about you go download it right now and then come back and comment in the comment section below that you download it. Put "I'm escaping" in the comments down below. I'm escaping. Let's see all those comments come in. It's going to be awesome. Go and download it. Put "I'm escaping." Enjoy this free resource, gang. It's just for you. I love every one of you. Just my gift to you to tell you how much I do love you. So go ahead, download that right now. Put "I'm escaping" in the comments. This is going to be fun. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. By the way, how do you like my my Bahamas shirt? I got this on that cruise that I went on. It was a lot of fun, and I just today I did. It's a beautiful spring day in Delaware. It's so rare we get beautiful spring days like this, so I decided to wear it. All right, let me grab a little coffee, get caffeined up. All right, let's lick the world. I want to begin by comparing and contrasting the way the legacy licking media is covering 2 cases of leaked classified information about Ukraine. One involves the classified leak of President Trump's phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The other involves a classified leak that basically contradicts everything we've been told about Ukraine and our involvement in that war. You recall that when a fellow by the name of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman leaked the content of a phone call between President Trump and Zelensky, and then in turn testified against Trump as a Democrat witness in the impeachment witch hearings, he was hailed by the legacy media as a hero. In fact, when Trump fired his ass, The Hill wrote a scathing rebuke to Trump entitled, "Lieutenant Colonel Vindman's firing was no way to treat a war hero." So he wasn't just a hero. He was a war hero. When BLM was busy tearing down statues, his statue would have been one that they would have left up, and deservedly so. We need more people in this world like Vindman and less people like Trump. That's what the legacy media gave to us for months. That's the kind of treatment Vindman got. Fast forward to this week, when another leak happened, also involving Ukraine and a U.S. president, but this time, the legacy media is whistling a very different tune. The leaker, who's been identified as a 21-year-old National Guard troop game enthusiast, National Guard troop member Jack Teixeira, who the far left Guardian paper, which is just a rag of leftist woke propaganda. They're calling him a right-wing gun enthusiast. You can't make this stuff up. He is now being treated by the legacy media as the single greatest threat to the survival of our republic. The single greatest threat, at least since Donald Trump. And the threat that he poses is so ominous. The threat that he posed was so horrific that the legacy media itself hunted him down for the deep state. Yes, it was the legacy media that turned the leaker in to federal authorities. I want to play a clip for you from Tucker Carlson last night. This was his segment with independent journalist Glenn Greenwald. This is what Glenn Greenwald had to say about it. Josh, load it up.
Out a lot of details that are being reported in the Washington Post, the New York Times, et cetera, tonight about the leaker and where this all came from. Because honestly, I don't believe anything. And it's very hard to know what's true. We're all being spun. We're all being lied to. And we just didn't want to repeat the lies. So with that, what do you make of this?
I can't think of an incident, Tucker, that reveals more vividly the real function of our nation's largest media corporations than what just happened here. If you're a real journalist, somebody who's devoted to transparency, shining a light on the most powerful government actors when they lie to the American people and informing the public, you would be celebrating this person who stepped forward and risked his security to show his fellow citizens that the government was lying about this incredibly important war with a nuclear armed power, that we have actual troops deployed on the ground in Ukraine. There's going to be no diplomatic resolution through at least 2023, that Zelensky is planning on using our weapons to strike deep into Russia, which we were told would never happen, risking escalation. He did the job of what journalists claim to do, which is showed the public the truth. If you work for the intelligence agencies, you would be furious at this person. You would hate him because he revealed that you just lied. He exposed the truth about what you were doing. What's amazing is the New York Times, the Washington Post, all the people who were at that Pentagon briefing today think the way the CIA and the Pentagon think. They hate this person. It was the New York Times and the Washington Post that did the FBI's work and found the leaker and led the FBI to him. They're demanding that he be punished. They're demanding that the government clamp down and keep things more and more secret. What kind of journalist would ever do that, would want to see a leaker exposed and punished and then demand that the government keep even more secret? But that is what these media corporations are there to do. They love leaks when the CIA and Homeland Security tell them to leak. That's when they disseminate propaganda to the public, like they did during the Trump years when they leaked the transcript between Michael Flynn and Ambassador Kislyak, the most serious kind of leaking crime. The Washington Post did that. Nobody looked for that leaker. Nobody cared. Everybody cheered because it served the interests of the security state. But when it comes to transparency that undermines the agenda of these agencies and that proves to the American people what the truth is, it's amazing that these journalists are on the side of the government and will actually hunt down the leaker and demand that he be punished even more.
So there you have it. Brilliant, brilliant summary of what we're seeing here in terms of the radical discrepancy between the two leaks, the Vindman leak and the Teixeira leak. One leak embarrassed, or better, supposedly embarrassed and implicated the single greatest threat to the power of our ruling class, namely Donald Trump. The other leak was itself a threat to the power of our ruling elite. That, my friends, is the difference. Vindman's leak served to weaken the threat to the ruling class, whereas Teixeira's leak was itself a threat to the ruling class. That's the difference. That's what you have to get. Teixeira's leak revealed that the Biden administration, as well as the legacy media, have been lying to us. Now, of course, if you're a regular to this channel, and if not, make sure you smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be great to have you as a regular part. But if you're a regular, you'll know. I mean, I took a very unpopular position on the Ukrainian conflict starting at the end of February last year. You know, I've been saying from day one that the bumbling Biden administration is lying. Ukraine is losing. Russia is winning. This is not about democracy versus autocracy or freedom versus tyranny. It's a bunch of nonsense. This is about maintaining the liberal world order. But now it's not just, now the whole world knows that Biden has been lying. And again, it's not that they suspect he's been lying or they have counted. No, we now know that Biden knows he's lying. We now know American troops are on the ground. Special forces are in Ukraine. We have confirmation that a, quote, small U.S. military presence, that's the words that were used, small U.S. military presence is indeed inside Ukraine at the American embassy. This was confirmed by White House National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby, who confirmed to Fox News that American troops are on the ground in Ukraine, which of course is a blatant contradiction to what we've been told for the last, how many months? 14, 15 months? And now we know that Ukraine is losing and Russia is winning. So we know that when Biden told us no U.S. troops will ever be deployed into this conflict, we know that was a lie. And we know that, oh, Ukraine is with, they might get Crimea back. Yay. We know that was a blatant lie. For months now, Biden and the legacy media, even Fox, to their detriment, except for Tucker, even for God's sakes, Sean Insanity, for heaven's sakes. I don't know what happened to that guy. But for months, they've been pushing this narrative that the Russians are a bunch of drunks, bunch of incompetent boobs. They didn't have any sense. They didn't even fill up their tanks with gas or diesel. They're getting crushed by the Ukrainian resistance. And Ukraine, in the name of freedom, in the name of the glories of democracy, because Ukraine is such a blissful example of it, Ukrainian forces were poised to even recapture Crimea. And now we know, thanks to these leaked documents, it was all a lie. We've been saying it for a year and it's a year and 3 months now. We all know the Biden administration and NATO have been lying to the world regarding the casualties suffered on the ground. As it turns out, according to the leaked document, 7 Ukrainians are being killed for every 1 Russian combatant. The casualty disparity is 7-1. Gang, that is unsustainable. The documents confirm Ukraine's air defense capabilities have been completely wiped out. The Russian forces are winning. The question is just how much territory does Putin want to take? And given that the West won't allow Ukraine to negotiate a peace, there's too much money in not doing that. Putin has put in the place of the special military operation a massive mobilization of several 100,000 troops to go in and finish this once and for all. And it's working. All the fanfare, all the bluster that we've been hearing from the Biden administration that Ukraine was on the verge of winning this war and humiliating, but Putin may fall. The Putin regime is going to fall. I can't even count how many lying YouTube channels I've seen over the last freaking 13, 14, 15 months. Russia's falling apart. Russia's it's ending. Putin is being embarrassed as we speak. And they were all lies. Every bit of it's all propaganda. Again, it's not, I'm not coming from yay, Russia. Woohoo, Russia. I don't have a Russian flag but no, I just hate lies. I hate propaganda. And I hate it when conservatives like Sean Hannity start buying into it. It was all utter nonsense. This leaked document shows not only a disproportionate and unsustainable casualty ratio, but also that Ukraine is running out of ammunition. Where's Russia stockpiled as far as the eye can see? They've been preparing for this for 10 years. So once again, we're finding that the adults in DC, as well as their mouthpieces in the legacy media, are all lying. Let's go lie to the world. It's Vietnam all over again. And so this is one big, massive lie that's being exposed for all the world to see, which of course undermines the credibility and the legitimacy of our ruling class, of which our legacy media is a part. And so they double down in the lie. Now, I've got a frame that'll help you make sense of what's happening here. And the best part of this frame is that it explains precisely why the whole corrupt regime is on the verge of collapsing. Okay, we've seen this before in history, and I'm going to show you exactly how. It's going to blow your mind. But first, gang, if you did miss it earlier at the beginning of the live stream, if you're wondering what's all these comments in the comment section down below, I made a huge announcement. Or in the live stream, or live feed, as I should say, not even the comments down below in the live feed, of course. But the announcement, I know, is it's awesome. You're going to love it. You've been asking me for weeks now when and where you'll be able to access my brand new research guidebook about how to escape the Great Reset. I've literally received thousands of emails and comments from patriots just like you, who are desperate to build a life, faith, family, and freedom. Get out of the shadow of Klaus Schwab and his bug-eating World Economic Forum. Well, today is a very special day. My team and I have been working hard to complete this book, and it is done. The digital version is complete. It was supposed to be rolled out next week, and I said, gang, I can't wait. We got to do it today. We got to share it with everybody today. So we're making the digital version of it available today by just clicking on the link below and downloading it. And here's the best part. If you weren't here earlier, now here's the best part. We're giving it away completely free. It's yours, gang. I love you. I love every one of you. This is my gift to you. Enjoy. Start your weekend with a lovely gift. For my Orthodox brothers out there, start your Easter weekend, your Pascha weekend with this gift. That's my gift to you, absolutely free. Learn the 5 steps to escape the Great Reset, keeping your family and sanity intact with my new guidebook, available for a limited time, totally free, just by clicking on the link below. It's a unique opportunity. I know you're going to absolutely benefit from this research. Go ahead, click on that description. In my research, I explored the methods patriots are using all over the world to escape the Great Reset. I give you some insights in the real failure behind the globalist agenda, how to build a life that isn't reliant on woke corporations or institutions. And I've even included the hidden truth of daily news sites that I read every single day. This isn't going to be available digitally for free for very long, but I know how many of you have wanted this. You want to be reading this as soon as possible. So this is your reading for the weekend. Just click on that link below right now. And then once you've done that, put "I'm escaping" in the chat. Put it in the live chat. Let's keep those coming. Who else is escaping? Put it down in that chat. Download my research, the link in the description below. Come back here and comment "I'm escaping." You're going to absolutely love it. Absolutely free, my gift to you. All right, gang. So one of the frames that will help you make sense of what's going on here, that I think is both helpful and hopeful, all right, is the frame. We've been talking a lot about it of late. It's called ReFutilization. ReFutilization. And that is a process that scholars talk about our world going through right now. Well, our society, our nation going through, what globalist elites have been trying to impose on the rest of the world. And it's where our society is increasingly resembling the kind of caste system, the kind of class structure of our Middle Ages. So, for example, we have a massive amount of power and money amassing in the hands of very, very few people. So one stat that's really interesting is 5 years ago, 400 billionaires own half the world's assets. Today, it's only 100 billionaires. And so we're seeing, bankers and bureaucrats, as it were, sharing a revolving door, amassing together an unprecedented amount of power and wealth. And at the same time this is happening, we're seeing a comparable kind of shall we call it religious fundamentalism or fanaticism, but not through a clerical class, like say in the medieval period, but through what's known as a clerisy class. And a clerisy class is a pseudo-intellectual class dedicated to woke fundamentalism made up of of the environment and gender and race. And that, my friends, is where the legacy media comes in. If the bureaucrats and the bankers are all about amassing all of this power and wealth, it's the legacy media that superimposes on us a fanaticism that makes sure you understand this is a fanaticism that is as fanatic as anything you would see coming out of the Middle East. The legacy media is the clerisy class that's imposing on our population a radical, fanatical ideology that, and here's its function, that deliberately keeps you either in line with the billionaires and the bureaucrats, or it excommunicates you if you would even dare to challenge the neo-feudalization and its ideological supremacy. So that's one way of conceptualizing what's happening here. We're going through a process of refeudalization where bureaucrats and media executives are teaming up to enforce a modern caste system where that promotes and protects their own power and interests at the expense of everyone else. And if a national security leak functions to promote and protect those interests, then the leaker is a hero. If a national security leak functions to threaten those interests, then the leaker is an enemy. It's that simple. And by the way, that's exactly why they've been lying about Ukraine, as I've been arguing for over a year now. And I hope all of you get this by now. I know there's some holdouts, but as I've been arguing for over a year, the Ukrainian conflict is fundamentally not about democracy versus autocracy or freedom versus tyranny. That is not what's happening in Ukraine. For over a year, I've been pleading with my audience not to lose focus, not to be swayed by the siren songs of neocons and neolibs, all telling you the same thing, that this is all about the evil KGB agent Vladimir Putin invading a completely peaceful, placidly democratic nation like Ukraine. Because, of course, Russia and Ukraine have never had issues before in history. It all started with Vladimir Putin in his tyrannical bid to resurrect the Soviet Union. It didn't matter who was flapping their gums. It could have been Sean Hannity or Nikki Haley, Lindsey Graham, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Eye Patch McCain. It doesn't matter. They were all saying the same stupid, ridiculous, lying thing, that Putin is a despotic tyrant trying to destroy a perfectly innocent democratic nation minding its own business. For months, I've been doing everything I can to explain that is emphatically not why our permanent political class has been pumping hundreds of billions of dollars into Zelensky's pockets. Oh, I'm sorry. No, into Ukraine. Sorry to burst any of your bubbles, but the dolts in DC and the bullies in Brussels don't, and most certainly the demons in Davos do not give a rip about democracy. We know, thanks to the transcript published by the BBC, one thing they did right when they're not trying to win an argument with Elon Musk. We know from a transcript of a telephone conversation between the Assistant Secretary of State, Victoria Nuland, at the time back in 2014, and the U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine. We know that the U.S. State Department was behind the 2014 color revolution in Kiev that overthrew a duly elected government. But that government was pro-Russian. We didn't like him. And so instead, we installed a pro-Western puppet government. It's never been about democracy. It's no more about democracy than George Soros's open societies are about democracy. This is all about, from day one, this is all about maintaining and defending the liberal world order that has secured the power and the prestige of our ruling class. That's what this is about. And for right or for wrong, This is key. This is what you have to get. For good or for ill, Vladimir Putin and the Russian Federation have revolted against that order. Again, for good or for bad, for right or for wrong. They want nothing more to do with the liberal world order. Putin has been saying this for over 10 years in his speeches. What he's doing is not a surprise. You don't have to see through it. Russia is officially decoupling itself from the globalist liberal order, as is China, as are all OPEC nations, as is Sub-Saharan Africa. They are decoupling themselves from the globalist liberal order, and Russia, for right or for wrong, for good or for bad, is taking eastern Ukraine with them. Russian-speaking eastern Ukraine. But this is emphatically not about democracy versus autocracy or freedom versus tyranny. One of Biden's officials admitted that. I'll play it for you. Josh, we got the clip, right? Several months back, one of Biden's officials said the quiet part out loud. Do you remember this? Play that, Josh.
That this could be a long war measured in years. And I think everybody understands why this is happening. But is it sustainable? What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable.
Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
This is about what? Is it about democracy versus tyranny, autocracy? No, what is it? It's about the future of what? It's about a future of a liberal world order that has empowered the freaks like Joe Biden. This is all fundamentally about maintaining a particular kind of political and economic order. And that liberal order is unraveling. That's why they're lying. That's why Biden and the legacy media are so deceitful. Whether it's a leaker or it's Russia, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. If they're considered a threat to the neo-feudalized system that has empowered our ruling elite, if they're a threat to that, they must be destroyed. This is the difference between BLM activists inflicting $2 billion worth of damage in our nation's cities and J6 protesters. This is the difference between Trump securing classified documents that he alone has the authority to declassify, keeping him in a safe room at Mar-a-Lago, and Biden, who had no such authority, storing classified documents in boxes in his garage. The difference is never what the establishment legacy media claims. And that's because it's always a matter of the survival of the legacy media itself. And the beauty in all of this, guy, this is what's precisely fueling the massive populist revolt going on, not just here, but all over the world. You see, history has played this out before. As the corruption of this neo-feudalized society becomes more and more exposed, as the gap between the people and the permanent political class widens, the populist backlash grows and inexorably forces a radical political change. Remember, we the people are more united than we've ever been. We look divided because that's what the legacy media pushes on us. That's what the legacy media superimposes on us. The politics of resentment. But we're more united than we've ever been before. Every racist indicator out there, do you believe in, do you support interethnic marriage? Would you work for somebody of a different ethnicity? Are you comfortable living next to somebody of a different ethnicity? You look at any study, support for interracial marriage and for all those things was like 10% back in the 1950s. Today it's 90%. All racist indicators, as they're called, are down. We've never been more united. We've never been more anti-war. All the polls show we are more anti-war today than we were even at the height of the Vietnam revolt, Vietnam era. And yet, what are the two issues that our state constantly starts pushing on us? Racism, 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 and war, war, war. They want to divide us. And what's happening now with President Trump is that they can't divide us, then fine, we'll detain you. We are going to hold on to this neo-feudalist order. But if we take a stroll through history, what did feudalism ultimately produce? The feudal period came to an end with what? The Protestant Reformation. And what we have to understand is the Protestant Reformation, in many respects, was a massive continent-wide populist revolt. It was a we the people versus a professional clerical class. The Protestant Reformation was a populist revolt against the clerical class in a manner comparable to the populist revolt that's happening now against our clerisy class. And that Protestant Reformation changed Europe forever. It actually helped to usher in the nation-state world order that we currently live in as a result of the collapse of the Holy Roman Empire and the treaties of Westphalia. That enshrined the nation-state system that we are today beneficiaries of. So be assured, a comparable populist revolt is happening as we speak, and it is going to bring this neo-feudalist system down, just like it did in the 16th and 17th centuries. And there's absolutely nothing that our elites and their lies can do to stop it and to stop you. So over to you, gang. Let's assemble some of these questions. But a final reminder that today is a very special day. I'm releasing my brand new research guidebook about how to escape the Great Reset for free. My favorite F word, free. That's right. I've received thousands of emails and comments from patriots just like you who are desperate to build a life of faith, family, and freedom in the face of Klaus Schwab and his bug-eating World Economic Forum. Well, today is a very special day. My team and I have worked hard to compile this book. The digital version is finally done. It's complete, and I couldn't wait to share it with you. So I convinced my team to share it with you in the basic digital format for a very short time. And the best part is it's absolutely free. I've outlined the 5 steps to escape the Great Reset while keeping your family and sanity intact in my new guidebook, available for a limited time, totally free at the link in the description. This opportunity to download it for free is only good for a couple of days, so do not wait, gang. Click on that link right below right now. What's in the guidebook? Well, I've got research that I explore the methods patriots all over the world are using to escape the Great Reset. Secondly, I've got insights into the real failure behind the globalist agenda and why we don't need to fear it. Third, how to build a life that isn't reliant on woke corporations or institutions. And finally, I've included the hidden truth of daily news with the list of sites that I actually read myself each and every day. It's going to be available digitally for free only for like hours. So don't wait. I know how much you want to read this. So please go to the link right now. Click on that link. Download it for yourself. You're not going to want to miss it. It's absolutely awesome. All right, Josh, let's check out some of these questions we got here. What do we got? Zach, God bless you, bro. Tweeted to you exposing Navy policy that allows medical providers to not notify parents of minor children of said provider. Ask minors 12 and older about gender identity, birth control, etc. Please do a story. I'll check it out, Zach. Absolutely. It's just horrible stuff. Like I said, when I said this is as radical as anything you would see coming out of the Middle East, this kind of fanaticism, that's an insult to the Middle East. I mean, this is the most radical stuff imaginable. And again, Putin has been weaponizing this anti-woke sentiment. I was just talking about that with Rich Barris a couple of days back. Awesome, Zach. I'll check it out. What do we got next here, Josh? Thank you, Joshikas Doggy Woggy, for the gift. Thank you, sir. Mitchell Ryan, do you think the Republicans will fight the digital dog? They'll have to. Their constituency doesn't want anything to do with it. So they'll have to if they want to survive. There's no otherwise. You'll see a Patriot Party rise up. Joshua, we deserve an RFK Jr. Trump rivalry and or team up. Yeah, RFK Jr., man. What are you going to say? I mean, 10% support in the Democratic Party. That's big. Williamson has 7%. Biden only has about 70% right now, which is not good. It's nowhere near the support that Trump had when he was running for re-election 2020 in inter-party. RFK is part of the growing populist revolt. So populism is not just on the right, it's on the left as well. And up to this point, it's been more or less represented by Bernie. But I think RFK is much more in line with what we're all about. No question about it, certainly with the vax issues and with his suspicion of woke Inc. and the like. Awesome. Stephen, good to see you. And Russia is fighting with shovels. That's right. And Russia's fighting with shovels. Love it. Next, UP shoot. So when we start the live Bible, so UP, I was just thinking about that the other night. Christ is risen. Christos alithos anesti. He's truly risen. I was just thinking about this. So what we're gonna do, doing a whole new video series. Actually, kind of, we have to think about it. We have to see how to incorporate it into our offerings and all that sort of stuff. But I was thinking about that just the other day. I mean, actually, I was in a church service last night for our Good Friday, which is like a matins evening service on Thursday nights. I was up there last night and thinking about reflecting on the crucifixion and all the richness of garden imagery coming in as the cross transforms before our eyes into the tree of life. And from Christ's side comes blood and water that gives us the baptism and the Eucharist that, just like with the original Adam, gives us now his bride, Christ's bride, the church, and all this beautiful imagery. And I was thinking, oh yeah, that's right. UP Shoot was requesting that we do some videos on that. So yeah, let's hold me accountable to it, and we'll see what we can put together for you. Mitchell, back. Do you think people are starting to wake up? Yeah, they are. Again, it's just, well, yes, they are. And that's why the deep state is doing everything they can to shut it down. I'll say it that way. My glasses look crooked. I'll say it that way. They're doing everything they can to shut it down, but people are waking up. They're waking up all over the world. Again, it's going to take time. But as the Reformation took time, Martin Luther had precursors going a century prior. So it's going to take time, but I don't think we're going to have to wait for a century. That's for sure. Generalissimo. We are great at finding facts, but when does any of this change things farther than reaction? When do we win something and turn them back? I know, Generalissimo. Come on, though. Don't lose focus. I mean, Brexit, Trump, the populist uprising in Europe. And again, you have to remember too. Here, we are in the vanguard of globalism. I've often said, if you want to see globalism, look in the mirror. And what I mean by that is that for everyone else in the world, globalism is a foreign invasion. For us, it's a civil war. Okay. For us, and I would include Europe in that as well. In Europe, it's a civil war. But for the rest of the world, for 90% of the world's population, it is a foreign invasion. And so they're pushing back. They don't want anything. That's why they're rallying around BRICS. They're rallying around the SCO. They're rallying around China, Russia, India, the emergence of civilization states. They're going back to religion, culture, custom, tradition. The Taliban is laughing at us right now, as is Iran and Saudi Arabia. They're just sub-Sahara Africa is aligning itself now with more with BRICS and with SCO. They're moving away from us. So we're going to be the last. Our population is going to be the last to finally bring it down. But it's a great opportunity. Make sure you download the book. Click on the link below, download the book, because we're going to give you action items to take in your own life to create the parallel economy in your own life, parallel patriot life that will eventually overwhelm this global colossus that's trying to take over the world, that's nevertheless in our backyard. Next. Chris, thank you, sir. Very, very kind for that gift. The Moral Reform Chronicles, Dr. Steve Glenn Beck recently mentioned on how we will be going to war with China or Russia in 2024, 2025. I'm curious how we will fare economically speaking. Asked because I'm concerned for my stepson's future. Sure, we're all absolutely concerned. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, we certainly don't have the stomach to go to war. Again, we're more anti-war than ever before. So if the deep state is trying to do this, if the clerisy class is trying to champion a new war, they're going to do it with even less support than Vietnam. And so, I mean, the Iraq War almost tore us apart in many respects, rightfully so, looking back, obviously. So we'll have to see. I don't know economically how we'll fare. It can't be good, though. Analog IDC, your breath of fresh air, Dr. Steve. Thank you, sir. And from, is that Canada? From the Great White North. Love you guys up there. Greatest patriots in the world in Canada. Casper, when are you going on Timcast? Thank you. I've been invited. I'd love to. I love Tim. He does great work. Very, very. Again, part of the growing populist revolt. He's doing amazing stuff. Generalissimo, thank you. Would Trump have the U.S. join BRICS? Good question. I doubt it, because I think BRICS is there as an alternative, a parallel economy to the United States. So they're already talking about dumping the dollar, and as is the SCO. So I doubt that. I doubt that's going to happen. It's more us learning to accommodate a new world order centered around parallel economic unions like BRICS and SCO. All right, guys, that is it, I believe. Correct? Yes. Josh just informed me that's it. Guys, I love you. Enjoy the book. Make sure you download the book. It's absolutely free. My gift to you, but just for a few days. So do it right now. You'll love it. Read it over the weekend. Tell me what you think. All right, guys. God bless. Have a wonderful week. For my Orthodox brothers and sisters out there, hey, what was it? Kali Anastasi in the Greek, a beautiful resurrection. Christ is risen. Enjoy your Pascha. And gang, let's just keep fighting. Onward and upward. God bless.